Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freaks with a Z, the podcast all about movies. Each episode is about a specific movie, and we're going to get to this episode's movie in a little bit. But first, I need to invite you, yes, you the listener, to suggest movies for the fan vote, which will happen during Tay's episode, which is the next episode. I'll announce the movies then, not now. And if you want to suggest a movie, just head over to the Discord and talk in the movie stuff section. Link down below to the Discord. Or you can send us an email at ff.filmfreaks at the end at gmail.com or leave a comment on the latest episode of the podcast on YouTube. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves before we talk about the movie. I am Ferret and I'm here with...
Scrappy Waffles.
Hey. Like Fred, but just Tay, not Taymation.
My glasses. Ray.
How's everyone doing today?
Oh,
I'm doing well.
Doing pretty good.
Ohio
good.
had a heat wave, so can't complain.
Yeah,
yeah.
hot. I got a library card today, so that was fun.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We've been having some severe wind. It's actually calm today, but like the last few days it's been so bad. Like it knocked over our catio, it pushed our gazebo a few inches. Like
Jeez.
bad. Yeah.
Don't blow away.
I won't. The house might. But-
Yeah, strong winds are pretty spooky.
oh yeah.
And you know what? You know what else is spooky?
Spooky Island.
Yeah, Spooky Island. Greedy, you recommended a movie for us. Why don't you introduce it
Yes.
for us?
So the movie I recommended was Scooby-Doo from 2002, directed by Raja Gosnell. I'll do a little synopsis. After an acrimonious breakup, the Mr. Inc. gang are individually brought to an island resort, aka Spooky Island, to investigate strange going-ons. Such a weird synopsis. I do not like that one. But anyways, directed by, some stars is Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar. Who are some of the other? They only list like three. Isla Fisher, Rowan Atkinson. Gosh. And some many others. A good place talking point is I want to I know saying the jokes are kind of would be vague, but I personally think they did a really good job with Scoob in this movie, and I feel like I was laughing every time with Scoob, with all his interactions that they had in the movie. One personal favorite of mine is when Fred kind of flicks Scoob in the face, and Scoob just kind of punches him. So I don't know why, but I think they did a really well, good job with just Scoob throughout
I think
this movie.
just like they did a good job of just capturing the the cartoon. Like it didn't feel like like I was like went into this thinking, oh, they're gonna try to take themselves so seriously, and they didn't. Like it felt like just a Scooby-Doo episode just made it into a movie, and it was just like, oh, this is refreshing, this is nice. They handled it really well. So I agree with you. Yeah, they handled
And when he was behind Shaggy, just mocking him, I thought that was funny too.
oh yeah. Yeah, no, they did a good job with Scooby. I mean, the CGI doesn't hold up super great at this point.
No, it does not at all.
No, yeah, not at all. But like I said, just the interactions, the way they handled it, they did a really good job with that, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of got that Roger Rabbit type feel to it, where definitely Matthew Lillard feels like he's interacting with Scooby, and Scooby does look like he's interacting with the environment, which is really nice. Like all the way down to like creases on shirts when Scooby is like standing on someone or touching someone. Pretty impressive. I mean, yeah, the CG is definitely aged very poorly, but it's a part. I think it's a part of like the funniness of the movie is it's so bad it's like funny kind of CGI, because like those monsters Anytime they were on the screen, I always giggled because they're just so ridiculous. And when Scrappy starts like transforming, it's just kind of funny in general, like the CG. I know it's not supposed to be funny all the time, but I found it pretty humorous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm thinking like, oh, back then they had trouble with like, you could see it really well, like when he's supposed to be in like a dark forest or whatever, and he's just like lit up like it's day still.
Yeah.
And I was
It's
like,
a
yeah,
glowing personality.
yeah, and I was like, they didn't, that back then they couldn't really do. It's like, no, Lord of the Rings came out in that time, and Lord of the Rings looked amazing.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, even for their time, that was incredibly mediocre.
Yeah, and yeah, so I feel like maybe they did it on purpose a little bit, where they're just like, nah, we're not taking ourselves seriously. It's a
Yeah,
talking dog.
Yeah, it wasn't definitely not a serious movie.
Yeah,
No, I don't
I
think
do
so.
find it. I didn't realize James Gunn actually helped write it and did the screenplay for it.
Makes
Huh.
sense.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, fun. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky at times, and it's also rather sexual at times as well.
Yes,
Especially
very.
when Fred
very
like, gets put into
over-sexualized.
Daphne's body, he like looks at her tits,
Yeah,
Yup.
And Daphne has her. No, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, Daphne, where she like has her. It's pretty much out. It's like what is going on here?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely tried to like modernize the look of the characters. I really appreciated Fred's glow up, I guess you could call it,
yeah,
because he went from like that really long hair and like the really outrageous outfit, and they definitely tuned him down and made him into like an actual believable character along with everyone else. I feel like everyone else kind of did great. I think the one character they kind of just forgot to modernize was Daphne in a way, because her outfit
Yeah.
is very like 80s.
Yeah.
It is. It has like that 70s, 80s vibe, but that's also part of who she is too. So like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I kind of like that they didn't really mess with her very much.
It
Yeah,
just
well-
looks like she could be in like The Spy Who Shagged Me or something like that,
Yeah.
100%.
I think like in the flashback, especially that one flashback, you see everyone's still back in their like 70s clothes, like Fred with his shaggy hair, and he even more so than you saw him in the first scene.
Yeah.
And and like, okay, so like Mystery Inc. I guess is like they're going like, yeah, the cartoons are canon. We've been doing this for years.
Yeah. That's fair. I like the subtle like adult humor like with Mary Jane, and when they're like sitting in the mystery machine like on the side of the road, like you see the smoke coming out and it's
Yes.
not what you think it is, but
Yeah.
it's like we know.
Yeah,
we know.
As kids now, yeah, I didn't pick
Yeah.
up on that as a. Or
Yeah.
as adults now, I didn't pick that up as a kid. You know?
Mary Jane, that's my favorite name.
That
Like,
was
uh,
hilarious. Yeah.
that would be.
Yeah,
I do
love
like that Matthew Lillard. Is that how you say his name? He did so well at this that he is Shaggy now. Like in the
Yeah.
cartoons and stuff, he just is always Shaggy.
Yeah. I don't know if there's
Hey.
like really another like person like that who portrayed a character so well in live action that they got put into the cartoon,
Yeah.
When I'm sure it's because the original voice actor passed probably or something. And they're like, oh, we need to replace him. Hey, this guy did really good as Shaggy. Let's just let him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a very smooth transition though. Like he does a really good job.
He does. Yeah.
Casey Kasem was the original voice actor for Shaggy. He used to run a radio show around in Ohio here. He died in 2014, and this movie came out in 2002. So
Yeah.
they probably had Matthew Lillard like on the back burner for a couple years, maybe
Yeah.
preparing him for the role.
Yeah. I looked and I couldn't find, I didn't look far enough back to see when in the cartoons he took over. I just know, I think I went back around to 2014. So maybe if I had gone a little further, I would have had an answer for us, but I didn't.
Well, I think his first movie appearance was the 2014 movie where John Cena meets Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that's when he started working on it. Oh no,
Yeah.
here's one 2011. Planet Soar, Legend of the Planet Soar. Oh, there's a lot of like straight
Yeah.
to VHS stuff in here.
Yeah. I wonder if the original was just like, I'm retiring, I'm done, and they're like, cool, we have your replacement all queued up.
From my quick research here, it looks like he started voicing the character in 2010 and onward. So
Nice.
Yeah. When did the second live action movie come out? Like 2007, I think I saw.
2004.
2004.
4. Oh, just 2 years after.
Yeah,
Okay.
crazy that they did this 2 years after. Although this one doesn't seem to have as many favorable reviews as the first one.
Yeah.
I've never seen the second one, so I can't comment on it. But
I don't know if I have
I
either.
Started watching. Are you talking about Scooby-Doo?
yeah.
Yeah. I started watching it last night and I kind of turned it off. So.
There we go.
Fair enough.
It looks
Yeah,
like what they did is they tried to bring back a bunch of monsters from the TV show, but in the in
it
this
just didn't
movie
pan out.
in 2002, they actually created new characters for the movie, which I think is a lot better than trying to portray these
Yeah.
classic villains or classic creatures in live action.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of play with it, you know. I like the one thing that I really liked about the opening in particular in the movie is they kind of show how like, oh, this, you know, he's got like the airbags on, the ghost guy has like the airbags on him, and
Yeah.
you know, whatever. And I like that idea of like, you know, having them show the more technical side of it. Because in the cartoons, it's like, oh, he uses a projector and a secret button and a whatever. Like this was actually like really ingenious. If it actually could work, it's pretty ingenious. I mean,
Yeah.
the later reveal of Mr. Bean being Scrappy-Doo is kind of like, you know, kind of meh. But that first one where they show off the guy's suit is pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. You know, I've never actually seen this movie until now, and like watching it. Second, they did the flashback to like, oh, and we had Scrappy, which no one likes to talk about. I immediately went like, oh yeah, it's Scrappy, and then I realized like, did I have sex in this? And I like, no, I don't think I have, but I think like I had like young family, you know, cousins, like on like holidays like Thanksgiving or Easter or whatever, you know, we were all together watching it. So I just saw parts and pieces of it. And so yeah, it's like second I saw Scrappy, I was like, oh yeah, it's Scrappy. I remember.
Yeah.
I don't know how I remember, but I remember.
Yeah,
I
there's
remember
also,
watching this like when I was younger, and like when that part came on, I was like so turned off. I was like, oh, well, okay, I guess there's another one.
Yeah, Scrappy-Doo was kind of a dark timeline for the Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
cartoon. I remember anytime those, like, because I used to watch Boomerang as a kid. That's how I watched Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And anytime it was a Scrappy episode, I would, like, switch to Cartoon Network or something. Because
Yep.
he's just the most annoying character.
He really is.
And he never changes. Like, he's just the same, like, I'm going to fight you. Let me at him.
Mhm.
And that was his entire character was, I'm going to be brave and fight the monster, but I'm, 2 feet tall.
Yeah. And I do like the idea of like, you know, it's like them calling out like, yeah, no one likes Scrappy Doo. It was awful. And then they went, but what if came back as a villain? I like that they did that. It went there.
Yeah, it plays with the Scooby-Doo idea a little bit in a fun way.
I do like that they pointed out that's like, oh, to get ultimate power, he needed Scooby. It's like, then why did he invite the rest of them?
Right?
Could have just been
That
Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah, because that was his downfall, inviting everybody.
I mean, for a minute there, he had their souls. So I guess
Yeah.
if I don't remember, did Shaggy release? Yeah, Shaggy released them. So
Yeah.
I guess if he just had Scooby there, it all would have worked out.
Yeah.
Oh well.
They got greedy, or not they, he got greedy and wanted them all.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah. He wanted his revenge on them, which I get, sure. But yeah, do it one at a time. They're broken up.
That ending line where they're like, "I get it, you have a grudge, but you don't have to, kill the entire human race or whatever."
yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was
Uh,
gonna change it. Go
me
ahead.
too, but
We talked about Spooky Island, in the beginning, but what do you guys think of like the whole island, like the whole theme? Because I thought they did a really nice job of like just having like a fun amusement park theme, Spooky Island.
Yeah, I thought they did really good. I was like, oh, okay, so they put all their money into the island and skipped the CG. Got it, got it.
They all their money went to getting the band. I can't remember now, but it was a very like early 2000s band.
Sugar Ray, I think.
Sugar Ray,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's where their whole budget went.
That was another thing I was gonna bring up after is the music.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up, Grady, because I was about to change the subject to that too. I really like the sets in this movie. I think that they did such a great job with the physical sets and making them look like they're on like the island. And my favorite is the haunted castle where like there's like the cars driving around and like the mechanical food and all that stuff. I think that all holds up really well because it's literally practical effects. It all is all there. It's all real. And even like some of the more like the outside shots, like, you know, obviously I don't think they filmed on an island actually, but you know, they did a good job of, you know, building these sets and making them look authentic. And I really like the costume design for like the entertainers too, like the skeleton dudes with the neon paint on them. Always,
Yeah.
I always like that
Yeah.
design. And there's the one guy who's like the greeting guy who has like the mask on crooked. I always felt like he has a great design in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, their costumes and sets and everything looked great. And then it was just bad CGI that kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But like I said, it's still fun. It doesn't take itself seriously, so you don't go like, oh. If they tried to take themselves seriously, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of
That's
knew
a-
what they were working with.
That took me out, and also the the zip line stuff that they use, or like people floating in the air, and the fight scene, like Daphne at the end, or Velma at
No, it was
fighting the king. No, it was
Daphne.
Velma. Oh, was it?
Daphne
No.
was
Daphne.
fighting the macho wrestler guy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. And then I was thinking Daphne was the hot one, or the smart one.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, yeah, so like them using like zip line and string, to tell her, like, definitely get her to float. It's like, okay, you could have done a little more, but again, I'm not gonna.
I do like the payoff though. This whole time she keeps saying, when she came back, like I'm a black belt now, and you finally get the payoff of her actually kicking someone's ass, and you're like, finally.
Who's the damsel in distress now?
Me?
It's always Shaggy. Always.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I think in the shows, I mean, everyone gets captured. I don't think it's just Daphne. I'm trying to think back because it's a bit foggy, but I seem to remember like Fred getting captured more often than Daphne in my foggy memory of Scooby-Doo. Or
can't
either they were
remember.
like they always went off together and they always got captured together or something. It's just
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to think back, and I think they all got captured almost equally. And actually, funny enough,
Yeah. I was like, I don't know, because I know Velma didn't necessarily get captured, but she always got her glasses knocked off, so she was useless for a while.
Yeah.
Shaggy was just always running, but he did get captured too. I do remember that, but always he'd run away. That's all I can remember. I don't remember anything about Daphne or Fred.
yeah, those
fair.
are like the two most forgettable characters in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But fun fact: Sarah Michelle Gellar, the one that plays Daphne, and Freddie Prinze Jr. are still married. They got married in 2002,
Yeah.
and they have been married since.
Wow.
I knew they got married at one point, but I didn't know if they were still married or not.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I looked it up, and sure enough, they are still married.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Good on them.
I agree.
What are some of your favorite funny scenes? I guess.
Well, you know that I was laughing when Daphne walks in. Shaggy's ripping Major ass.
The fart scene. Yep, fart scene. Hilarious.
No, I think
I mean-
the funny part comes in when Daphne walks in the room because the rest of it was kind of like some like borderline cringe, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
kids show. They need to have the fart jokes.
Right, but when Daphne
know-
walks in, that's when it.
Yeah,
I
that's when
laugh
you're like-
because he does like the big one that pushes her hair back, and it's just the slapstick funniness that I love.
You know that
For
won
sure.
an award, right?
It won an award.
It won. Yeah, 2003 won a Blimp Award for Nickelodeon.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
That's
Kids'
the-
Choice
just
Award.
just that scene.
Yep, favorite fart in the movie.
Wow.
Lillard.
I would if I was Matthew, I would have that like on my
Plastered.
shelf in front of
Yeah.
any other award.
He probably does.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no way.
But yeah, that
Back
was,
when Nickelodeon was good.
well, we just
I did
aged
that
out of
kind
it.
of
Well, the shows are probably still good. We just aged out of it.
Yeah.
I hear good things about Loudmouth and El
Craig-
Tigre or something.
I'll say, cartoon-wise, there's still a lot of good cartoons out there. But I don't know if they're on Nickelodeon or not. So
Yeah, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network kind of they're not as unique as they used to be. Like there was a certain vibe from the cartoons on Cartoon Network as opposed to Nickelodeon. Now I feel like they're kind of similar
Mhm.
nowadays.
yeah, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Both of them handle their like the shows that always do really well. They handle them poorly.
Yeah.
Give them weird update schedules or cancel them too soon and like oh well, you can still watch it on our website if you pay.
Right. Bluey's great. I like Bluey.
I hear Bluey is good.
Yeah.
I've
That's
seen-
the
I've-
only
I've
one
seen
I
it.
know.
I would say I've seen one or two. I hear good things about Craig of the Creek. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what network it's on.
I have no
But-
idea what that is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's like a current Scooby-Doo cartoon on right now.
I don't think there is. I think there's just movies.
Yeah, because I remember seeing like What's New Scooby-Doo or
Mhm.
something like that. And then when I was a kid, the newest thing was no. What's New Scooby-Doo was the one when I was a kid because it had that really good theme song. What's new, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. Gonna
Oh,
solve
yeah.
that mystery. There was that, and then there was also a pup named Scooby-Doo, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I know there was a new one.
Scoob.
Scoob was a new movie. I don't know. Did they make
Yeah.
a show off of that then?
I don't know if they did. Is Matthew Illard or Lilliard or however you say his name? Is he Shaggy in that new one?
I don't know.
Better be. I'll look it up.
Be Cool Scooby-Doo is the latest one from 2015.
Oh no, because they're young kids. Well, let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been a Scooby-Doo show for quite a while.
No, they didn't get Matthew. What the hell? They got Will Forte as adult Shaggy. How dare you?
That's like replacing, the Blue's Clues man. It's like, you can't
Yeah.
do that.
Well,
Let's
they did it 3 times now, so I guess they can. Yeah, I don't think there's been a new Scooby show since 2015.
Ugh. I listened to the trailer for just a split second and heard his voice, and it's awful.
Oh gosh.
Like, I mean, it's not awful, but like, it's not Shaggy. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah. What studio? Who owns this? Who screwed it up so bad?
Yeah, speaking of Matthew Lillard, I thought that he kind of put this movie on his shoulders. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of all the characters in the movie, like he was really into the role. And I thought that
agree.
I thought
I
that
know.
like when he interacted with Scooby, it was just it just felt genuine, and he really put his all into this
Yeah.
role.
Oh yeah.
I agree. Like
Which
one
is
of my favorite
good,
parts
that's-
is when Scooby like slaps him in the face by accident. Like the
Of course.
timing is just perfect. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
It's the same people. It's Warner Brothers. Of course, Warner Brothers screwed it up.
And he's like the biggest one that you want to have that interaction because, they're best pals. So
Yeah,
if it was off-putting, that probably would have knocked down the movie a couple.
for sure.
Yeah.
They were great.
Yeah, he did a great job. and I'm just upset that they didn't even put him in the new movie. I mean, I don't think it did good. I don't think it got good reviews,
And that's why.
and that is why.
Yeah, most recently he was in that Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah.
Terrible movie, by the way. I like to shit on it any chance I get, but you know, his part was fine. It wasn't like super crazy.
Never saw it. I thought I heard good reviews on it, but
Most people,
You're gonna hear good reviews from the people who blindly love Five Nights at Freddy's.
yeah.
As a person coming in sort of from the outside, like I played the first game and enjoyed it, I guess. But like coming from the outside and looking in, like it's just a bad movie, like in general. Like the plot's bad. Like sure the animatronics look good and the puppetry is good when there is puppetry,
Yeah.
but like for a movie, it's kind of boring and it's just a real mishmash of like everything. Like there's this whole plot point where he's like, "Oh, I need to go to sleep to talk to or to relive this moment," and
Yeah, he
it just
sleeps
doesn't
so
even
much.
matter by
I
the
hear.
end of the movie. But they spend like 30 minutes of screen time in this dream world. It kind of wastes your time a bit.
oh,
Say, watch the pitch meeting version of it. That's all you need, and you know, like, oh yeah, this sounds awful.
Yeah,
And it's you know, they do it justice and make it funny.
Yeah, no hate towards the people who like the movie, but I feel like most people who like the movie just like Five Nights at Freddy's and are happy to see the property on the big screen.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from an objective angle, it just doesn't hold up at all. Like, I was so bored in the theater, I thought I was gonna squirm out of my chair and run. Like when the movie was over, like it was just that bad.
wow. I'll definitely be watching that one.
On the flip side, Willy's Wonderland, pretty fun.
Oh yeah, Willy's Wonderland was great.
But you know
What is
that is Nick Cage, so you know
It's Nick Cage. Doesn't he
Beating
says
up
one
people in
line
outfits.
in one line in the whole movie.
Yeah, he's just beating people up inside of like costumes. They're supposed to be animatronics, but they're literally just like people in costumes, and he's just smacking them around and killing them. It's kind of just fun.
It's a great movie. I highly recommend.
Huh.
It's the Five
Okay.
Nights at Freddy's we deserve.
Little do we know, Tay's probably gonna recommend it now.
No, I forgot my movie picked and planned
Well,
out.
Halloween's
Oh,
coming
wow.
around later this year, so we'll see what happens.
It
I
sure
should have
is.
it on my list. It was fun.
Getting back on
Nice.
track here.
Any
What do y'all think of
Thanks,
Shaggy's real name?
Shaggy Rogers.
His real name's not Shaggy. His real name is Norville.
Oh, yeah, that's my grandpa's name.
Aw. Like Redenbacher? Or is that Orville?
That's Orville.
No, this is Norville. No,
Yeah, and that is my grandpa's actual
or
legitimate
Nor.
name, Norville.
It's quite the unique name for this
Yeah.
character
For sure.
Plot twist.
because everyone else is kind of normal names.
Wait,
well, I guess
Was my grandpa Shaggy in the old
Yeah.
days?
It's a plot twist. That's who Shaggy was based off of.
Now I think of it, Daphne, Velma, kind of weird names in this franchise.
Well, they were names, you know, back in the when did Scooby-Doo originally come out? Was it the
It's like
70s?
the late '60s.
Yeah. And then there was Fred.
Yeah, there was just a guy named Fred. Everyone else has these like interesting names, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Fred."
Oh,
There's got to be one guy.
yeah.
Norville. That's interesting.
No wonder he goes by Shag. So my grandpa doesn't go by that name either. He goes by his middle name.
Well, sounds like that name's no good.
Yeah.
I think that name died out back in the
Yeah.
'60s.
Honestly, my grandpa was born in the 30s, so
Oh wow.
Yep,
okay.
there we go. Well,
yeah,
dang.
he actually turns 90 in within the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
Aw,
Well, happy birthday
happy
to
birthday,
Norville.
Granddad! Yeah.
Hey, happy birthday.
My
He doesn't listen to this. You don't have to.
my grandma, she actually just passed away last week. But she lived to be 94.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice, long life.
Yes, she was awesome.
All right. Anything else? It wasn't a long movie, so it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't-
Yeah,
Um,
not
it
a long
was- it was
movie
fun.
and not a lot going on in terms of like
Mm,
what we could talk about.
Yeah.
I would much
'Cause, like,
rather it be
the-
like that than prolong it and just like have zero content
Well,
just
yeah.
to
the runtime was
have the
perfect.
minutes.
Yeah. No, the runtime
Yeah.
was good. Hour and like 26 minutes or something. You know,
Yep.
including credits, so you didn't have to watch.
Probably an hour and
An hour of
15
it.
minutes.
Yeah. This was a great 45-minute episode, guys.
Hey, that's okay. We've had them before.
And you know the nice thing about this watching this movie again as an adult, I really don't feel like I need to watch it again. I think that it was fun to rewatch it and relive it, kind of a bit of nostalgia in there because this was a movie that
Yeah.
I watched a lot as a kid. I'm sure Greedy watched it too. I think we watched it
Oh, yeah.
together at times.
Yeah.
Aw.
But yeah, it was fun to watch it again. But you know, it's kind of like All Dogs Go to Heaven, where it's like okay, now that I'm an adult and I've seen it, I'm good. I'm set.
I'm good. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably be another 10 years where I'm like, let's watch this again.
Yeah, I don't regret watching it. That's the main thing I'm saying. Like I don't regret watching
Yeah.
it, but I don't really need to watch it again. So
For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. I don't regret that I finally actually sat down and watched this.
why? Same
Well,
thing
that's your
with
first
Batman
time?
and Robin.
Yeah. Yeah. Two in a row. I've never actually even
Are we
looking at
accidentally
mine.
getting movies that have been on Tay's don't
To be
watch
fair,
list?
No, they're not necessarily on my don't watch list. Like this just came out when I was, in high school, and it just was just like whatever. I don't need to see it. It's a kids movie. But yeah, so far this session, we've picked, including my pick coming up, 3
Ooh.
movies I've never seen before.
Wow.
Ooh.
Dang.
All right. Don't mess it up.
Yeah.
Now, are
Yeah,
we
Ray.
staying with the trend of like movies that are so bad that they're good, or
Oh, I forgot that's what we were going with. No, mine is
that's
mine
okay.
is
That's okay.
Mine is supposedly good. I've wanted to watch it for years and just have never gotten around to it. So I'm finally picking it.
Well, we're on the edge of our seats. Let's go ahead and
Yeah,
wrap this up. If
just
no one has anything
suspense.
else to say about the movie,
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm all right. I'm good.
all right,
All right.
Greedy, start us off.
So Scooby-Doo from 2002, very enjoyable movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's a revisit for me. Loved it as a kid. I still like it, but it's not like one of those where I reignited my love for like the Scooby-Doo franchise. So I don't need to watch it again soon, but a few years down the road where I'm thinking about it, I'll probably watch it again. I'm not gonna not watch it, but it was a lot of fun. I literally loved what they did with Scooby in here. Like I said, the scene where he was portraying the grandma and he punched Fred in the face, just all that stuff. Like every time he seemed like he had an interaction, I was laughing or just smiling because I just had a good time. Matthew Lillard did a great job as Shaggy. Overall, I just loved the theme of like this spooky island. The one thing I didn't like, it seemed to be a little over sexualized. Like Daphne having her boobs, that kind of stuff, and Mary
There she have
Jane,
boobs.
at the end, yeah, Mary Jane at the end is like, okay, you could have put a little more clothes on, but, it's but it is what it is. The CGI did not age well at all. The monsters, just like Yemmy said, was just kind of cringe every time they were on screen, but
I said they were
they
funny. Not
funny, funny, because it was so bad. But I think that's the kind of thing they went for. So I think it was just kind of like whatever, we don't care kind of thing. So after all that, I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5. I still enjoy it. I really had a fun
Wow.
time watching this
Yeah.
again. 4 out of 5 for me. So
Cool. For me, like I said, I had I've seen bits and pieces throughout the years. Like I said, the second I saw Scrappy-Doo, I was like, oh yeah, that's who the bad guy is. I don't remember how I know, but I know. So this was my first time sitting down with it, and I went in thinking, oh, this is just gonna be bad, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like I'm like, oh, that they didn't take themselves seriously, like I've been saying. It was just a lot of fun. Greedy was saying the interactions between Scooby and Shaggy and everybody was just fun. Everything about it was fun. It was a good story, I think, overall. Yeah, there was a few weird things where like Velma met some guy at the bar, and then like she met him for like 10 minutes, and then he showed up again at the end. It's like, we should, like, just gave the vibe of we should be in love now. And you're like, okay. Little things like that were a little weird. You kind of the over sexualized, where it's like everyone needs to end with a love interest. Where it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But overall, fun music, and it was fun. It was a fun movie. So I'm also going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh.
Oh dang. Now I feel like a piece of crap.
Oh, now here comes a 1.
No, like it was
It was it was average. It was mid.
it was mid. It was mid. No, the CG was just absolutely
Oh yeah, CG
terrible.
was awful.
I loved it as a kid, but got bored watching it as an adult. I'll be completely honest with you. Loved like the acting from them. They all did really, really well. But yeah, for some reason it just could not keep my attention. I don't know. But
Wow.
I know, I'm sorry. Loved the island, the props, everything, like the costume design, makeup. That was all really good. So that is basically the only reason why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. It was at a 2.5 until we started talking, and then it pulled it up to a 3.
All right.
Well, Ray, don't feel too bad, because I enjoyed the movie. It's not like I regret watching or anything like that, but it's one of those movies that I'll keep it in the past from here on out. I did enjoy the sets were great. I think that's like one of my favorite things was just kind of looking at the sets and how detailed they were, just how they really did. I guess they did. They felt like maybe like the show or like the animated movies kind of at times. I thought that the villains kind of needed maybe a bit more fleshing out, like obviously the main villain was like the monsters and yeah, they obviously didn't look that great. Scooby also was not amazing, but I think the acting around Scooby and Scooby himself was well voice acted and stuff like that. There was a lot of fun times and jokes in here. I think Matthew Lillard did the best in his role. Everyone else was from average to fine. There's a few background characters who also I was like, they're not trying their hardest, are they? But that being said, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm also going to give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
All right. The suspense is killing me. Tay, what have you got for us next time?
So today, on this day we are recording, it has been 30 years since John Candy died.
Oh.
Oh.
So, in memory of him, and this was on my list, so I was like, you know what? I'm picking it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes! Oh, I'm so excited.
The Chicago advertising man must struggle to travel home from New York for Thanksgiving with a lovable oaf of a shower curtain ring salesman as his only companion. Director is John Hughes, written by John Hughes, stars Steve Martin, John Candy, Layla Robbins, and probably a few others. Oh, Michael McKean, Kevin Bacon's in it. How fun. Yeah, just a host of other people, but it's mainly just Steve Martin and John Candy on the road having a fun time. So, like I said, I've never seen this movie, and I'm excited to finally get to watch it.
I had never seen it either, so I'm excited as well.
It's so good.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. So,
Sweet.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this. It's been probably 5 or 6 years since I've seen it, so
Yeah, it's been about 3 for me, so.
be a fun
Sweet.
time. And if you want to watch it along with us, you can check it out on Amazon to rent, Apple TV, Vudu, YouTube, and other places to rent. And if you want to join the conversation or just listen along and have fun listening along, knowing what we're talking about, make sure you watch the movie before the next episode airs in 2 weeks. That's right, folks, 2 weeks. And also, don't forget that the fan vote is coming up next episode, so stay tuned for the next set of movies to vote on in next time. Okay. Does anyone have any small recommendations for the end of the show today?
Go to your local library and get a library card because it helps them out.
For sure. I actually got a library card like last month, I think, or 2 months ago.
Let's go.
So yeah,
Support your
I
libraries.
agree with you.
I've had my local library card since I was 13.
I'm about to
Nice.
say, I think I still have mine somewhere.
Yeah, mine's probably buried in my childhood stuff, but
Go get a new one.
Yeah, so I had one at back in Utah, but I never got one when I moved to Nevada. So
actually,
like that months ago.
I'm in a very unique place where I can actually get a library card that works at 2 different libraries.
Ooh.
There's 2 relatively close to each other, but they're both in like the same city.
Not to brag, I can use mine in 3.
Oh,
Mine, I think I can use in the whole county.
Okay,
Well,
fine.
there you go.
I think.
Go off.
Yeah, they do it better down here. I guess I don't know.
Ray, what books did you check out at the library?
I checked out one. It's called an Identity by Nora Roberts. She's one of my favorite authors. She writes kind of like cool thriller-esque books, and this one's about a man that was trying to kill her but killed her roommate instead, and like he's on like the hunt trying to find her. And yeah,
Ooh.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
yeah.
Small recommendation from me. No, I don't have any.
Okay. All right.
I haven't been doing anything besides.
Someone has a cat.
Yeah, it's Tyson. It's his weekly meow on our podcast.
He's just got to get at least one in.
Yeah, that was his recommendation. I hope you guys take it to
yeah.
heart.
I do. I'm gonna pass that on to my cats.
Good idea.
All right. Well, thank you to y'all for listening to this episode of the Film Freakz podcast. We will be back in 2 weeks to talk about planes, trains, and automobiles. I have been Yemmy the Ferret, and I'm here with...
Crappy Waffles.
Taymation.
Ray positivity.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.